welcome back. Sorry, it's been a long time since we've done a video. Don't really have any excuses for that. It's just been a while. So, today, I figured we would go over what all has been done to the 66 over this past winter. Got a lot of work done on it, and we'll go into that in depth here. Didn't do a ton of pictures or videos. I just kind of got distracted and just started building. So we'll backpedal a little bit and go over what all happened to it. So we decided to move up to SSM this year, and we put a Rotrex supercharger on it. We went with a Track Dog Racing kit, and they have been phenomenal to work with. I did something that was a bit abnormal with the layout, and they were wonderful to get me set up with all the pieces parts that I needed. So we moved the Miata to SSM, and yes, we are going to be moving to Hoosiers and Flares and all that. I was going to do a couple of events just as it is to get the powertrain sorted out. Now that we have some extra time with the first couple events being canceled, we may change that up a little bit. But so what we did is we built a whole new motor for the car. Went with Wiseco 8.5 to 1 compression pistons. The head and the block were both decked slightly, I think 20 thousandths each. So we're somewhere in the 8 3/4 to 1 compression ratio. Did Manley forged rods, ARP studs on everything. Did all new machine work. Oversized its 84.5 millimeter bore. New bearings, Boundary Engineering water pump, or oil pump rather. I wanted the ability to be able to pound on this thing as hard as I wanted to without any fear of it breaking. I wanted the same thing you get with a stock Miata, just you can't break the thing, just go, go, go. We built a new splitter. It's just 1/4 inch ABS, and hard to tell, but it does go all the way under the car back to the center of the front axle, as far as you can go in SSM. Front mount intercooler. Did a bunch of rearranging. I don't know how good it looks on camera, but we tried to keep everything tidy. There's a bunch of sand in the engine bay now because I followed a truck carrying some sand a bit too closely on the way to work the other day. Inside the car we got race seats in finally. Some little door pulls that we made out of a yellow ratchet strap. Just clear. It turns out when you're sitting lower, here I can get in. Turns out when you sit in the car with the race seats lower, your elbows wind up whacking where the standard door handles used to be, so we had to go with something a bit more low profile. Otherwise the interior is the same as last year, except for we did make this, can't know if you can see it in there, this piece, because as with all Miatas the dash had cracked, so made a nice metal trim piece there to cover the front of it, and it doesn't rattle anymore, which I'm very excited about. So everyone's asking, how much horsepower does it make? What does it feel like to drive? I don't really know yet. Two reasons. One, we are in Northeast Ohio, so it oscillates between 60 degrees and sunny and snowing every other day. And so far, every day it's been sunny, car's not been ready to roll, and every day it's been snowing, it has. Secondly, I've had a couple of bugs I'm still chasing down. The main one has been the camshaft position sensor keeps having some issues. You can see that I got the wiring all pulled apart right here. So what we did is we took that out and we put in a disc inside of that sensor that gave me more points, better resolution. I did something wrong when I took it apart because I apparently broke it. So when it gets really, really hot, that sensor acts up and the car does really bizarre things. Finally figured that out. It was an intermittent problem, really hard to track down since it was temperature related, but finally figured that out. We got a new sensor on the way here, and we'll try it again. The other issue I had, this is only the second car I've built with boosts. The first one I've done a mega squirt on. Learning quite a few things. The first one I learned was that you have to unplug the stock O2 sensor when you hook the wideband up. I'm sure most of you know that already. I didn't realize that. So that took forever to figure out. My poor tuner down in Texas was doing a remote tune and kept saying that the O2 signals were inconsistent, and got that all squared away, and it suddenly ran a lot better. So we're very close. Hopefully this next week we'll bring it over to a local shop and get it on the dyno and get the tune dialed in and figure out how much power it makes. So we're working our way there. All right, other things that everyone asks about, these hood vents. These are vents that we just machined out of aluminum and then bent down. I couldn't find anything off the shelf that I liked to buy, so I just made my own. They're not hard to make. Someday, hopefully, we can sell them as a Leroy Engineering product, but for now, we can't produce them at a cost that anyone can afford. So, I did these on the CNC router, but you could do these by hand if you wanted to. It's just a couple of U-shaped cuts and then a bend. So, then I powder coated them black. So that's something everyone can do. We have the hood pins in. Not the greatest showing of that. There we go. That was a bit of a chore to install those. Worth it, but took a little bit of time. What else do we have? Oh, yes. Okay. So, mistakes happen. We were out on the road trying to get the tune sorted out, and about 2 doors from my house, uphill, of course, the computer cut out. It went berserk. It died. Turned out that was the cam sensor failing. We had to get it home. It's a busy road. My dad was behind me in the truck. I just said, push us. So, yeah, I got to repaint the bumper now. Whoops. It's nothing that's not repairable. This bumper was repainted before. Being that it's a autocross car, most of the lower panels have had a round of paint or two, since I keep destroying them. So that is the majority of what we did this winter. If I'm forgetting something or you have questions, email me, put it in the comments. I can definitely answer what all we did. It's been a really fun build. I've learned a ton. I like each build being a bit more challenging than the last one. Couple other projects going on in the garage. We have a red NB our friend Rachel's got here that got a brand new engine, complete rebuild this past winter. It is done, it runs, just got to get a couple things buttoned up and this car can leave. Another one trapped here by the virus. And then the project car we did last winter, so this is the state it is in. We are working on the wrap. Got this side just about finished. This is the same motor that we built last year. That car got rear-ended by a pickup truck and destroyed, so we transplanted all the pieces parts into a new body. Poly bushings, it's going to be all set and done. It looks a bit of a mess at the moment. It's just in that interim state, so it will all be this color when we're done. Ignore the red fender over there. Got to get that buttoned up. Another car trapped here by the virus because all the people that were coming to work on them are stuck at home. So, future plans for this car. Yes, it's going to get a big wing once I get around to it. I figured my next steps are we're going to make sure it runs, it's reliable, and I don't need to do any more to the drivetrain. Tires and flares are next, and after that, the big wing. Installing the seats. So, I'm thinking of making a new seat bracket for the future because that was really hard to install. The seat bolts in, and it's a side mount so I could get the height that I needed. These bolts on the side are easy to get to. The ones in there, I don't know how in the world they were supposed to be gotten to. I wound up putting the 2 front ones in, mounting the base down, then lifting the seat up, mounting the rear 2, folding it back, and then just fighting with one in the back. But really, this bracket needs weld nuts on it and bolts that come up from the bottom of the car. That would be substantially easier, so if these ever come out, that's happening, because that was a chore to get those in. But the end result is I love them. I was a bit unsure how comfortable they were going to be, but I've been pleasantly surprised how comfortable it is and how fun it is to drive. Stock Miatas are a ton of fun. They're kind of fun in that just happy-go-lucky sense. This is fun in that it feels like a tiny little fighter plane on the streets. You're so tight and and seated in there, and it's just a fantastically fun thing to drive. Let's see. Video here. Here's the video of the first cold start. We started the motor without the supercharger plugged on, just to get running on the stock ECU. Once it was good to go, swapped injectors, hooked up the supercharger, and ran it on the new computer.
Slides on fire. Yeah. I swear I worked there. Ready?
Yep.
Fired up on the first turn of the key and ran smooth as butter, which was a wonderful thing. Spent a ton of time building this engine to make sure every single tolerance was not just good enough, but perfect. And I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I will be doing driving videos and racing and the video from the dyno session and all that as soon as that happens, whenever that is. I don't want to guess on horsepower numbers. I have no idea. I can tell you what other people who have done similar builds have said, but again, this is unique. Slightly bigger bore, different compression ratio than normal. So who knows? We'll find out. If anyone is wanting to build a car and they're in the vicinity of where I'm at right here in the Northeast Ohio region, and you want to build something, just reach out to me. I love helping teach people how to build stuff. I'm not perfect. You're all learning. We all make mistakes. That's part of the learning process, but I really enjoy digging into new projects. We have a couple of exciting ones coming up. A couple people want to build a all motor, see how much power we can get, individual throttle body build. Got a friend who wants to do another turbo Miata, so hopefully we'll get that rolling here shortly. I really enjoy building motors and this stuff, and I like making things look pretty. I don't like slapping stuff together kind of willy-nilly. It's got to be done in a very correct fashion. I'm a bit OCD, so I apologize. I'm the furthest thing from roadkill, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm very happy with the way this car has turned out so far. It's, in my opinion, the best looking NA that I've ever seen, and I'm just ecstatic. It's taken 3 years and many iterations to finally land on this layout, but very happy with it.